Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. We get to start today with the most voted on puzzle from the bucket. So today's puzzle was voted for by David, Math Pesto, Russ, Josh, and Luda. It is a Fillomino by Mormagli. I haven't seen Mormagli around much recently, but Mormagli has made some excellent puzzles. So let's see what we've got going on here. So we need to divide the grid into regions of size 1 through 9. So this, by the way, it's not going to be a sudoku. It's going to be a Fillomino, but with some extra sudoku flavor. So regions of size 1 through 9, the digit in each cell is the size of the region. And regions of the same size cannot share a row or column. So I like how Mormagli noticed that you don't need to specify that they can't touch, because they can't share a row or column. Also, cells with an arrow indicate how many region borders there are in the direction of that arrow. There is a border anytime two adjacent cells belong to different regions. So that sounds to me like actually we're not counting the edge as a border. We're only counting sort of internal borders. So this seems to be a 1 by that logic. So we can bring in Zach for the 1 dance. Ba-ba-ba-dup, wah! Ba-da-ba-dup, wah! Ba-da-ba-dup, wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Are there competing AEST streamers? Like, is there a MetaMath streamer or something? But I thank you, as always, for the kind comment on the most recent puzzle I put up, Playmaker. By the way, if people did not know, I did recently publish a new 2-star Chinese whisper puzzle. So if you are into such things, oh yeah, this is also one. It is, I think, quite approachable. Okay, so now this one's a 2 because it can't share a row with a 1. And now this one's a 3 because it already shares a row with a 2. So we get those. And so because that's a 2, we get these 2 borders. And because this is a 3, we get these 3 borders. Let's see. This is, I think, a naked 3 now. Because it's not a 1 or a 2, and it's at most 3. Okay, so then we can get our 2 action back. This is going to be a 2. You can also put a 2 there. This was a 3. I didn't actually enter the 3. Okay. So these are all at least 4. I don't quite know what to do with that yet. Okay, this is 1, 2. This is at least 2, but it can't be a 2 because if it were a 2, 2 and 3 would be equal. So this is either a 3 or a 4 are the only options for this cell. Based on how many of these 2 are in. Tristan's telling me row 4, column 3 is interesting, but row 4, column 3 is already filled in. Also, Tristan's on the wrong account. This is 3, 4. Oh, Tristan says this one. So if this is a 3, then all of these are 3s. Yeah, it can't be a 3. Because if this is a 3, then it's in a different 3 region. Right, okay, yeah. Hey, Jay, by the way. So yeah, this can't actually be a 3, because I was thinking, oh, all of these could be 3, and that would be fine. But if all of these are 3, then the 3 is a 2. So this is, in fact, actually a 4, which is a different color. And so that actually gets us these in. That has the bonus of growing the 3 over to there. like that. Okay, this number is at least 2, and at most 5. I don't know if 4 is actually... Well, 2 is definitely not possible, because if it were 2, these would be the only borders, and 2 and 4 would be equal. 3 would imply the only additional border is between the 3 and the 4, which seems possible. 4, these would both have to be in the same 4 region, with a 1 border at most. That doesn't work either. 5 is maybe possible. This number is now not 1, 2, 3, or 4, so it's at least 5. And on the other hand, it's at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it is a 5. Which does draw in all of these. So the 5 grows back here. Oops, I don't know how that happened. I can write in the 5 as well. Okay, one of these two is definitely a border. And one of these two is definitely a border. So this number is certainly at least 2. And it's at most 1, 2, 3, 4. However, it's definitely not a 3 because it can't be the same 3 as that one. So this is a 2 or a 4 only, which means there's always a border between the 3 or the 5 and the 2 or the 4. This cell now has to be a 1, 3, or 4 for what it's worth. It can't be a 2 because it's in a column with a 2. So it either joins the 3 on this side, joins a 4 on that side, or is a 1 by itself, which seems possible. So if this is a 2, it looks like that. And now note, we could have something like these two are the same. Emma says if it's a 4, the count breaks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks fine to me. Oh, that 4. Sorry, this one's not 4. I agree, this one's not 4. Because, right, if that's 4, then these two are both 4, and now that's not a 4. Right, okay. Yes. So this is always a border. Or were you saying the 3 never actually goes this way? I think that's what you're saying with the V comment. Because if the 3 goes this way, it makes this a 2 and makes this a 1, which is bad. So that is one conclusion, is that the 3 does not grow that way. Oh, I see AFK said that in chat, as well as Emma. This number here can be a 2 or it can be 6 or more. These numbers are all 6 or more. Or sorry, are all 4 or more. I know, you said this one, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to mark that one. Oh no, you were talking about this one. Sorry. This is like 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. But can't actually be a 3. What you were really saying is just this cell can't be a 3, because if it was a 3, it would definitely grow into a column with a 3. So basically you were saying, like, to enter, like, sometimes I wish there was an imaginary, like, third kind of pencil mark that indicated things a cell couldn't be, because you were really sort of mentally entering a not 3 mark into this cell. Which is a valid thing to do, although awkward to, red mini marks. Yeah, definitely it's a thing that shows up in some pencils that you're like, okay, I would like to indicate that I know that this cell, for a clever reason, is not equal to exactly this one thing. But sadly, we do not have those. Let's see. These are all either 2 or huge. I guess 4 is possible, not 5. Actually, some of them could even be 5. But these can't be 5. So this number and this number here can't be 4 either, because the 4 certainly doesn't reach over to there. So this number is either 2 or 6, 7, 8, or 9. And I was just about to count, and DWeb has already counted for me, that the maximum this can actually be is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one just is a 2, which makes all of these not 2. So there's only 2 markers here, and one of them is below the 2. So one of them is either this one or this one for the 2 where it borders. No, sadly, DWeb, this puzzle uses a different form of border counting than the, like, lately, most things that have done this have counted the edge as a border, but this puzzle's old enough that it used the old-style border counting. Let's see. It's one of those things where it's like, I kind of want it occasionally, but I'm not sure it would actually improve my quality of life if I had a 14th form of pencil marking. But I do occasionally want it. But I'm not sure that it's something that would be easy to actually use in practice. I don't know. I think there probably is a good form of the idea, but I'm not confident I know what the good form of the idea is. I do see that this number can't grow. Oh, maybe it can actually grow all the way up there. Never mind. This number can't be 4. I'm confident that this number is not a 1. It can't be a 9 either. Yeah, this 4 definitely makes it to column 6, is what people are saying. So this number is not 4. It's also not 1 because if it were 1, that would be the only border, and then this number here would be at least 1 would be at least 5, but it can't be at least 5. So that one's not a 1 for sure. It's not a 3 by looking up. Let's see. I was hoping to ping pong back and forth between these. Emma seems to have noted this isn't 2 for similar reasons. If this is a 2, oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Let's do this other one first. What's the maximum this can be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this isn't 6, 7, 8, or 9. If this is a 2, yeah, this one is. Emma has the nice way of thinking about it. This one is strictly larger than this one. Or at least it's equal to. But in either case, this one's certainly not a 2. They could be equal, except that they can't actually be because of the numbers involved. But it's not, it's a special case, not a general principle. I guess if they were the same Fillomino, you could argue this one would be a 0. And 0 is probably not the size of the omino. So if you take into account specifically that this one's in the corner, then yeah, they're not going to end up being equal. So if this is a 2 and that's a 5, is that possible? Be 2 in here and then 3, 4, 5. Yeah. This being an 8 and that being a 5 would match. It sort of feels like it wants me to prove that this is a 2, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, that's a great spot to Mekti. If this 3 comes down, this cell is now trapped being nothing because it can't be a 1 because that's become a 1. It can't be a 3 because it's touching a 3, and it can't be a 5 because it's in a column with a 5. Yeah, so in fact, that's always the 3. Which then does make this a 2, as just promised, which goes over to here. Which then does make this a 5. Which puts in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gives us a shame omino. As Doomdiat pointed out, the worst part about Artisan of Glymph is that it doesn't let you properly shame the improper ominos. This grows over here, and in fact, this grows here, this grows here, this grows here. So we can put in some more borders based around that. Oops. So in fact, this one grows even further. Okay, yeah, this one, AFK points out, now can't be 1, 2. It can't actually be... Actually, could it be 3 if it's just that 3? I think it could be 3. This 4 definitely needs to take one of these 2 cells. This is a 5 now, because it already sees 4 borders, and we said it was 3 or 5. And so that actually puts in this border, which extends my 4 to here, at least. That does mean this 5 can't extend this direction. So the 5 extends at least 2 in that direction. The 5 can't go here, because if the 5 goes here, these two things both grow up, and it's a problem immediately. So in fact, the 5 actually goes there. Which finishes that, and lets me rule 5 out of all of these cells. Okay, this thing assuredly grows left. It's not a 1 or a 2, so it's at least a 3. And it's not a 5. It's not a 4 either, because the 4 is right here. So this 4 grows here. For sure. Okay, I did want to pencil mark this one, which is not 1 or 2. It could be a 3. It can't be a 4 or a 5. And then it could be sort of 6, 7, 8, 9. Which is maybe fine. I think we're going to have like a 6 that wraps around like this or something. This 2 we know doesn't go down because of that 2. So one of these 2 is a 2. Right. This cell is larger than that one because it currently already counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it can't actually be a 5 because if it was a 5, the problem is that then it would have to be the same 5 as that 5. So it's 6, 7, or 8. Rumor has it can't be an 8, but I don't know that it's worth thinking about that at the moment. This is almost certainly going to be a 3, but I'm not sure about it yet. Oh yeah, this cell can't grow left. Oh, so these two always end up going together is the point, because this 5 can't, because it can't go left ever, it's going to have to go right at some point because it's only 4 cells up, and therefore it's always going to connect with this, which means that cell's always going to be part of it. And for that matter, that cell's always going to be part of it. And then we just don't know which one it is yet that's going to be part of that one. This number that's certainly not a 2 needs to grow, but I think it could grow over here for all I'm aware. Yeah, this does grow. I agree with that. I'm being told this is interesting. I'm not sure I see how it's interesting yet. This number here is quite large. It's not 1, 2, 3. It could be a 4. It can't be a 5. So this number here, whatever it is, I guess, no, it can't even be 4 without growing left. So funnily enough, this number always grows left. Because if it's not a 4, it has to grow left. But if it is a 4, it also has to grow left because there's a 4 looking down at it. This number is also at least a 3. Oops. If it's exactly if it's a 3 itself, it looks exactly like this. Which I think it's Okay, I have to also do this one. This one's at least a 4. And it's not a 5. So I think the thing we have to think about is how these 3 large numbers interact. Because one of these can't be very large, because they can't all be the same. Because if they were all the same, this would be a second 1. And so one of these has to be pretty small. Yeah, these can both be a 6. That's fine. Oh, Entmoot says this number is knowable. It's at maximum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's not a 4 or a 5, so it's definitely a 1, 2, or 3. We know there's a border over here, so it's not a 1, because there's assuredly a border between this and the 5. And this never extends left, no matter what it is, funnily enough. So there's always a border there. And it doesn't go up either, funnily enough. So this is a 1 or a 5. It's almost certainly a 5. Although I think, interestingly, I think Screaming Ice Cube wants to argue that it's not a 1, or that it's not a 5. Or maybe it's Gary, and someone wanted to argue that this was definitely not a 5. Okay, this being a 4 just doesn't work. Let's do that. So if this is a 4, it has to be exactly this 4. And that doesn't work because this number now can't be anything. Or I guess I should say this number can't be anything, because this number, I guess maybe I should mark this number just for sanity. This is a 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anyway, if this is a 4, it has to be exactly these cells because of my dashes, and now this number is nothing, because it can't be a 4 that grows that way. So this number is always a 6, 7, 8, 9. And now this one visibly can't be a 4. Because if it's a 4, it can only grow neither direction. Which is not a good number of directions for it to be able to grow. So this is also a 6, 7, 8, 9. But the fact that this could be a 6 that looks like this, which is what I've wanted it to be the whole time, still seems plausible. Yeah, the 6 chair is what I've wanted as well. Yeah, these two always connect, because if these two don't connect, then this ends up being not a 3, which means it grows over here and then is at least 6 and grows up here and breaks. So these always connect. I agree, which does finish the 5. Yeah, row 8, column 4 definitely grows left and right, actually. Now the chair, I think, is forced, because this can't get to at least 6 by only growing right, but now this can't grow up, so this is now just a straight up 6. Oh, apparently I need a different color for 6. Okay, so this is not a 6, that's not a 6, that's not a 6. That's not a 6. This thing grows now. This thing also grows. So we get to do this again. This is almost assuredly a 2. This can't get to 7, only this direction. So this always grows up, funnily enough. What do I know about this thing? Can't be 1, 2, 3. Could be 4. Can't be 5 or 6. Can be 7, 8, or 9. Okay. So these are both 4, 7, 8, or 9. Oh yeah, if this grows up, then that just makes it a 5. That doesn't work. I agree. So this just is a 2. Okay, and so now this does connect into this other piece, which means this one doesn't connect into that other piece, which means this one always grows up. This is currently 7, right? So this maybe grows up 1 more. Yeah, we know it grows up. It either stays this or grows up 1 more is what I was saying there. Hey, Isabella. How are you doing? So in any event... Oh, no, this... In any event, I guess this grows up, but I don't know that I really want to get into that. We can just count this number now. This number is simply a 3. We do know there's at least 1 more border over here. Oh, this 2 arrow is done, Screaming Ice Cube points out, which means these connect, which means that these don't. So this, in fact, is the 7 of our dreams. And this is now a 7, 8, or 9. So, and it's not a 7, actually. This is now just an 8 or a 9. So it needs to extend some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of these go together. Like that. Let's see. We know this goes up at least 1 more. And then we've got this number, which is now worth marking because this one's a different one than this. This is not 1, 2. It can't actually be 3 either. Because it would need to extend this way to be a 3. So this is at least a 4. And it's not a 5 either. It can't be a 6 either, or a 7. It could maybe be the other 8, 9. But by virtue of being at least 4, it extends at least 2 this way. So that's enough to make this number also not 7. This number's not 6 while we're filling in such things. Let's see. So numbers over here can be 3, 4, not 5, 6, 7, and 8 or 9. That one's never a 3 or a 4. So this cell's always an 8 or a 9. I see D-Web is in the same region of the map as I am. I think I could probably argue we can't have an 8 and a 9 down here, but I don't want to. Oh, this number can't be 4. I agree with Amir. So this is a 6, 7, 8, or 9. Isn't that fine, AFK? I think that's fine. We'll just make this a 4 and this an 8. You know, AFK, I didn't want to be right. I wanted you to say, no, obviously that breaks because blah, 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 and that to actually give me something. God, I want to argue this can't be a 3, but I can't convince myself to actually think about that because it's such a minor deduction, but I think it's almost certainly true. If this 3 extends this way, this 8, 9 definitely grabs the remaining cell just to get big enough. So, like, the thing that seems actually quite likely to me now is that this giant region is going to come out like this. This is going to be a 4 down here, and I'm going to end up with something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I can't. That doesn't actually work. This 2 is kind of interesting. I hadn't really contemplated the nature and purpose of this 2. But remember, I do need one border over here. Okay. I think I'm prepared. I'm not happy about it, but I think I'm prepared to argue that this can't be an 8, 9. Because if this is an 8, 9, it's different than this 8, 9, and they get out here and here. However, this 8, 9 would then take all of these cells, and this 2 would be wrong. So I think this is always a 3 or a 4. That also would break this even more simply, because I would have an 8, 9 pair. Grabbing that is a good point from Garion. Oh yeah, these two 8, 9s are different 8, 9s is also a good point. For sure. Let's just give them colors. We've got the pink 8, 9 and the lighter blue 8, 9. So correct. So this is not an 8 or a 9 because it sees an 8, 9 pair. Very good. It's a 6 or a 7. 9 column 8 can't be 3 or you break the 3 above. Yeah, if this is a 3, then it forces that 3 down exactly like that, and that definitely doesn't work. And I think we kind of painfully argued that 4 doesn't actually work, although I don't know if I want to use it. But the only way there could be any 4s down here is if it looks like this, because this needs to get out. And I don't think this possibly lets this 3 work, right? This 3 needs a cell down here somewhere. Yeah, this can't be 8, 9, because I don't think this is working without ever... Oh, could it be a vertical 4? Never mind, sorry. Maybe it could be a vertical 4. And then maybe this doesn't have to get out at all. If this is a 4, the only cells it can possibly get are these, and that breaks this. I agree with that statement. Oh yeah, if this is an 8, 9 now, it's the blue 8, 9. And so it would come over at least this far and break, right? So this is a 4. That's really clever. Yeah, so this now just is a 4, which is very convenient because we know it goes over here. I like that. That's a cool deduction. Now this is an 8. That one's still a 5, though. Don't listen to me. Okay. So now this is a 9. Is it easy to argue that by math that this can't be a 4? I don't really want to, but it seems like the sort of thing that one of you in chat will do for me. Yeah, row 1, column 5 definitely grows. Oh yeah, this definitely can't be 8 or 9. I agree with that statement because it definitely... Okay, well, these aren't 8. I know that for sure. And there's no way this is 9 because this 9 is definitely not making it out of this column. So these are a 6, 7 pair. Oh yeah, this is definitely not an 8. The argument that you want it to be 4, I think, is somewhat complicated. This is definitely not a 4 now, though, because it can't grow up and it can't grow enough down. I agree. Okay, if this is a 4, then it's going to push this up over here, or maybe actually it could even look like that. No, it can't look like that. It ends up breaking the 3, but in some complicated way. Oh, could this be this 9? It could maybe be that 9. I'm willing to grant that as a possibility. I'm sorry I even introduced the possibility of doing a long bifurcation around the idea of this being a square. It's my fault. I shouldn't have brought it up. See, this isn't a 9 because it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is more than... This is a taxi cab distance of more than 9 away. Cell counting breaks these two being unequal. One of them would definitely be a 6. If these two are not equal, that one's a 9, I guess, is the really big problem. Because if these are not equal, that one's a 9. And that 9 certainly comes down like this. And now, yeah, now I've got nowhere near the right numbers of 6s and nowhere near 13 cells up here. So yeah, I agree with you. These two are equal. We can ketchup them. This is not ketchup. These definitely can't connect under, right? If these connect under, it looks like that's going to break this, given that that can't be a 6, right? Yeah, that definitely breaks this. So they need to connect over, which means that this actually is a 3. So this isn't a 3 anymore. Why not 7? It was 6 cells was all that was there. Right? Did I not count right? One, two, three, four, five, 6. I didn't say the circle couldn't be 7. Oh, I see. I don't know that 3 goes up. Okay, so you're not arguing with that deduction. You're arguing with a different deduction. I see. Okay. This goes down. Like that. And now this can't take more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells over here. Oh, but it could be a 6. Never mind. Forget my count. I'm not counting anymore. Oh, but you want me to count more? Fine, we can count. We'll count these cells. So this is at least 3, 6, and 7, which is 16. So that means that in total, these need to go down by at least 2 because this is 14 cells I have selected. So this goes at least like that, if I did that math correctly. Does make the 6 go up. Or sorry, does go make the 2 go up, yeah. It increases our count, but it doesn't matter because we're through the bottleneck now. Yeah, so now this, if this is going to be 6, it would have to be this 6, but the problem is now one of these is broken. I don't know which one, but one of them is broken. And so these are 7, which makes them orange. Makes all of these orange. Let's just clean up that. Now I can't take this cell with the 7, so we've got to be the long neck bear septomino over here. This isn't a 7 anymore. That's not a 7 anymore. We can clean this up. This is a 3 now. Clean that up. Okay. This is a 6 or a 9. It needs some more cells, but unfortunately we don't know a lot about which cells. The hippo. I could see hippo. I accept hippo. I think now I can argue the 3 can't take this cell. Because if the 3 takes this cell... Oh, never mind. Sorry, it doesn't work. It is true. This cell's only a 6 or a 9. I can just get rid of it. Oh, we can put some 7s in. That's fine. Could certainly do a 9 like this, I think. Couldn't the 9 just be the lower blue? That would be perfect, right? That looks perfect. Oh, it breaks this 2 in a weird way. It's so close to perfect, though. It's really, really close to perfect. Oh, wait, no, that does work. That does work. Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, so we're going to highlight all of these cells. I really miss my Artisan of Glymmith feature to count all, to just press Control and tell you how many cells are highlighted. MathPesto has been begging Sven to add that to Sudoku Pad for like 2 years now, so I don't think it's ever going to happen. But it would really make my life easier. I think this is 22 cells. So 6 plus 9 is 15, plus 4 is 20, plus 3 or 4 is 23, or 24, that's too many. So yeah, so I agree this can't be 6. This has to be part of blue. Which works like that. This blue now has to go here because it's got to take a direct route in order to get there. Yeah, it is going to be exactly what I drew, but I have to argue that it has to be exactly what I drew. So that's done. That means that this blue comes over here. It finishes like that. Which finishes like that. This 3 or 4 now is just a 4. Like that, which makes this a very ashamed Amino. By the way, speaking of this, I should mention, at some point a while ago, I gave a setting challenge about Minesweeper puzzles, and only 2 people ever actually gave me one. I will do those 2, but if you heard the setting challenge and thought that sounds cool and then went and worked on a puzzle and didn't ever put it up, or you can copy cells. What is the how do you copy cells? You were one of them, AFK. So if you want to set one, you can still set it. If you want to do something for the Minesweeper setting challenge. So if you are interested, by all means. Let's copy cells like Control C or something. Command C. That doesn't look like it does. That definitely didn't work. Copy cells button. It's in advanced settings. Interesting. advanced. Oh, that's sorry. I'm looking at experimental, not advanced. Copy cells. I see. Okay, so it will, in a very janky way, tell you how many things. I wish it would just come up with there would be an option where it just show me how many cells you have highlighted. Like, oh, there's 13 cells highlighted or whatever. It would be nice. But hey, at least at least there's something that does it, so I can at least fake the functionality, albeit in a way that looks insanely janky. But thank you. I definitely did not know that that was an option. Where can I even paste the cells that I just copied? Oh, is the idea that this lets you implement a solution code? Is that the whole point of this? Is that you copy it and you get a string that tells you? Is that the joke here? I see. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so if it was like column 1 and column 7, would it do it in a smart way? No, it would not. Okay, I was like, if this is actually going to work as a Logic Master solution code, it would have to correctly intuit the directionality that you would like your solution code entered. It's copied in reading order, which unfortunately is not the order that LMD usually wants it in. But if it were just one column, it would work, because then you could hit copy and then it would give it to you coincidentally. So as long as people give either 2 rows or 2 columns, or 1 row, well, 18-digit code is too long unless you have exactly 2 rows. There you go. Oops, I accidentally went full screen, and I don't know if that sort of broke everything horribly for you. It did also break everything horribly for you, as well as for me. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back, and we'll do more puzzles. So see you all in just a moment. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Some people in chat were asking about the Minesweeper. Yeah, we can just do them in a regular stream if no one else does them. I figure people just forgot, and my reason for figuring people just forgot is that I completely forgot until I thought about it in the shower the other day and was like, and then I had to like think for a long time to decide if I actually had done all the puzzles for the challenge and just forgotten all of them. But anyway, the challenge is just to set a puzzle of any sort, Sudoku or otherwise, that uses in some fashion Minesweeper clues. That was the challenge. But I want to give people an opportunity to do it if they want. Okay, so we've got the one of the classic zetamath types of puzzles, which is a Renbon and black dots together puzzle, although slightly dirtied by the fact that there are white dots in the puzzle, and you should never have white dots in a puzzle with Renbon. I encourage you to go back in my archive and point out all the puzzles that I have that have... oh, I think Tristan is off doing something. All the puzzles I have that do that, but I think generally, to the extent that you can possibly avoid it, I think you should avoid having Renbon and white dots in the same puzzle because they're the same constraint. But anyway, that being said, let's do this because it also has black dots and Renbon, which are, I consistently say those are the two S-tier constraints in Sudoku. There are maybe a handful of other S-tier constraints, but it is hard to beat Renbon and black dots. And the two of them work beautifully together because if Renbon has a fault, the fault is that it can't distinguish between 1s and 9s, and black dots can, so it all works out. Okay, so we've got a 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 8 business going on over here with these cells. Killer's problem is that killer cages are ugly as fuck. And so it can't be S tier because it's too hideous. If someone comes up with a way to make killer cages that are not absolutely hideous, then I think there's a chance that killer could move into S tier. But as it is, killer cages look horrible. I agree. Killer is very close to S tier for how good it is, given that it is ugly. Let's see. Yeah, these aren't 2, 4, so these are like 3, 6, 1, 8. I was trying to decide if I knew for sure they were 3, 6, but I don't think I know for sure they're 3, 6. Obviously, one of them at least is 3, 6. But I don't know. So these are like 2, 4, 3, 6, if I sort of continue that pattern. Yeah, these two are certainly the same digit. That's another consequence. And these two are certainly the same digit. And that digit isn't the same digit as this digit, so these are different digits. I will agree with that. Oh. Thank you. Somehow, in both of these, I put 8 instead of 6. Thank you, M. Horner. Have any good book recommendations lately? I assume if you have books in your name, it probably means that you like books. So can either of these be 1? Is it somehow deeply problematic if I force myself to make this a 1, with the 2, 4 would have to go there and there. And that would be a 3. Fortune Fall by Cameron Reed. Is this a Fortunate Fall? I see. Is this like literary fiction, or it sounds like literary fiction from the title. That's going to be my guess. Should I just mark off all the cells that aren't 5, 7, 9? That's maybe a good idea, right? All of these cells on black dots are not 5, 7, 9. Queer cyberpunk from the 90s. Oh, that sounds exciting. So I guess it's important to remember that 3 of these 4 are 579. So one of these has a 579 on it. What kind of book do I like to read anyway? Well, my recent readings have been, I am nearly done reading Sanderson's series. I'm currently reading Mistborn book 5. I've read all but the most recent of the Stormlight Archive. But between the Stormlight Archive and Mistborn, I read God, what is that series? I want to say Eclipse, but that's not right. The like 9-book space saga series that's like generally that's like there's like an Amazon TV show version. It starts with an E. Why can I not think of the name of the series? I read like 9 books of it. God, why on earth can I? The Expanse. Thank you. I also read the Red Rising series, which I quite liked. That was enjoyable. In terms of more literary fiction, I really like all of Donna Tartt's novels. So The Goldfinch and the one that takes place on a college campus especially was actually my favorite of those. Let's see. What other things have I really enjoyed? I'm terrible about remembering titles because, like, one of the consequences of the fact that I read on a Kindle is that I never actually look at the title of the book I'm reading. I just pick it up and read it, and it shows me the page. And so then I have to try and remember, like, what this book about the 5 generations of chocolatiers with the magic chocolate is called. And then I can't remember what it is. The 8th generation, the 8th life? Something like that? Question mark. It's a slight issue. But on the other side, the fact that I'm dyslexic means that the Kindle lets me space out the words so I can actually read like way better than I could in paper. So the Kindle is a godsend. But then I don't remember what any of the books are called. Okay, we also have one of these places where there's like 3 579s in these 4 cells. Is pretty interesting. But not quite there. Let's see. It sounds like the 1 does break, but that the 1 doesn't break in an intended way, is what I heard from the response that chat gave me. This puzzle is listed as 2 stars for the record. So I am going to guess it's probably not intended to break in this fashion. My ideal of a 2-star wouldn't use that, but 2-star means a lot of things these days. Yeah, there is some fair truth to that. If it's 2 stars these days, it might be set. Yeah, that's very possible. Okay. Yes, that is a very cute observation, and I like that a lot. Neither of these can be 3-6, because if either of these is 3-6, it's symmetrical. Then that's not a 3-6, so that isn't a 3-6, and these aren't 3-6s, and that makes a total of 5 1 2 4 8s in box 5, and that doesn't work. So these are unambiguously, and I like that a lot, from 1 2 4 8. That deduction feels quite natural. means these digits are both 2 or odd. It's pretty hard to get something to show up as 1 star on LMD2, weirdly. But then 2 star, I feel like 1 star is this tiny, tiny sliver. 2 star is this giant gap from that extends from slightly non-trivial to the approachable for experts, which is probably the most useless designation. But I think Playmaker is completely correct that killer puzzle that is approachable for someone who's doing their 500th killer puzzle shows up in star 2, usually. But almost universally, I think 5 star on LMD means bad. I think when people say something is 5 stars on LMD, what they really mean is the puzzle is bad. And they may or may not be intentionally saying that, but I think the number of good 5-star puzzles on LMD is very, very small. At least one of these. There we go. Okay, so now no. Sorry, I am wrong. I needed one more digit in here to make the argument I was going to make. I was going to say at least one of these two has to be a 5, 7, 9, so it can't have a 1, and the same thing is true over here. But unfortunately, I can't count. Unfortunately, this like circle digit doesn't get Okay, so does this now make it so that this 1 is horrible? This 1 obviously breaks once I've made this realization. Yes. Either of these being 1 now, I think obviously breaks because it requires... Oh, maybe not, actually. Sorry, maybe it's not quite so clear as I wanted it to be. It would make these a 2-4 pair, but that doesn't break as cleanly as it could be. If X is 3, 6, and the Renban under it has no 3 or 6. That's true. If this is 3 or... Well, it doesn't have that 3 or that 6 on it, at least. Could have this 3, 6 if it's there, I guess. Oh, by Sudoku and Black Dot. Right, okay. So, yeah. So, that is a weird deduction. An important note, every Renban has every length 4 Renban has a 3 or 6 on it, which I did not at first appreciate. I was like, so the Renban is 7, 8, 9, which is not how this works. Every Renban has a 3 or 6 on it. At least one. It could have 2. But it certainly has at least 1, 3, or 6. Let's see. AFK says this is easier to explain if you note that row 5, column 6 equal to 3 again forces 5 digits from column 6 into the 1, 2, 4, 8 category. It's not quite as clear to me. I do see the I need 3 6s on these as being interesting. So we know those aren't 3 6s. I'm trying to understand if there's some way to look at this that's sort of like more holistic, rather than, I don't know that there is. I'm certainly going to take Garian's point, but I'm trying to see if I can reformulate Garian's point. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's a nice way to formulate your point, Garian. That, because I think there probably is, but I also don't think I see it. But Garian's point, I think, is the cleaner one. But I was trying to see it as a, like, counting 3 6s kind of thing around these cells, which look like they're sort of set up for a nice geometry argument, but I can't quite make it work. But anyway, if this is a 3 or a 6, the problem is that 3 6, of course, is ruled off of this whole mess. But also, this being a 3 or a 6 means this is the other 3 or 6. So these two aren't 3 6, but this being 3 6 means these aren't 3 6 either. So these can't be 3 6 is the short version of this. Okay, I like Garian's alternative phrasing. Here's Garian's alternative phrasing. If this is 3 6, then that cell is 3 6, and that makes these a 3 6 triple. I like that version a lot. So this one isn't 3 6. So therefore, this one is 3 6 because we now have all of our things. So that gives us an actual 3 6 business over here. And so therefore, this 3 6 goes here on this one because we need a 3 6 on this Renbon. So this is a 3 6. One of these two is blue circle, but I don't know which one yet. Oh, and we can place the other 3 6 now. This is certainly red circle. Agree. So these are both, by the way, these are both gray. So that makes these a 5 7 9 because we need the 5 7 9 somewhere. So 5 7 9 doesn't go on a Renbon with a 1. So this is a 2 4 or 8. Oh, sorry. This one was meant to be a blue circle. I just screwed it up. This was meant to be indicating that these two are known to be the same digit. Ah, yes. There's a 2 4 that does not appear on this Renbon, namely X, and that means this isn't 1 either. Which now, in fact, gets us our first digit, which is that this is a 4. And we can bring out Zach for our handy-dandy 4 dance, is the idea. Whoa! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Which makes these a 2 8. Makes that a 1. Makes both of these 2s. Makes that an 8, it would seem. Okay, so we can make that a 2. Means we can get rid of these markers. 6 and 2 are too far apart, so this is a 3. So we can get those out, and then we can get rid of all of our condiments, including whatever your favorite blue condiment is. Okay, so one of these two is 4, and it's that one, because this one has a 4-8 pair looking at it. So this one's a 5 now. It's the only thing it can be, owing to the fact that it has a 1 looking at it. 5s are yellow. One of these two is a 5. These are now 4-8, owing to that. 3, 5, 7, 9 for these. That one's not a 3, so it's yellow. There's a 2 down here somewhere. Interesting. This is 2 or 8, by the way, and it's only an 8, actually, which makes that a 4. Okay, this is now a 3-6 dot, because it doesn't have a 2 or a 4 on it. This is certainly from 1, 2, 4, 8. This one's not 2 or 4, so that means this one is 2 or 4, and it's not 4, so this one's a 2. Which makes this one a 1. Let's see. We've got an 8 as our last digit across this row. So we've got a 5, 7, 9, and a 6 up here. Again, not maximally helpful. One of these two's... Oh, in fact, that one's a 6, right? This Renban with an 8 needs a 6, and the 6 conveniently looks at every cell except this one. So I will take that. This Renban now doesn't have a 6, because those two 6 look at it crisscross ways, which means it needs a 3, and that 3 goes here. Because that's the only cell on this that can be a 3. Oh, by the way, this is a 5 or a 7, both of which are yellow. Which means that this digit is not yellow. This Renban also needs a 4, which is placed because of this 4-8 pair. I agree. Like that. So that makes that an 8 and that a 4, which makes that yellow. Renban, but exactly one repeat digit. Conveniently, these two are always yellow because the only things left are 5, 7, and 9. That one's not the 5. Or not a 5, at least. This one doesn't necessarily have a 5. Yeah, neither of these is a 5, because this 5 sees them both. So these are a 1, 2 pair in some order. Which then doesn't quite do anything, if I'm being honest. But anyway, this is a 5, 7, 8, or 9. Because it doesn't see 1, 2, 4, and it sees 6. Oh yeah, AFK says this digit's not 1 or 2, which means the other 1, 2 in the column goes there, which means that this is yellow, and it's a 7 or a 9. Agree. 4, 6, 8 for this one as options. Box 8 does have a clean triple left over. It's 7, 9, and the other one, 6, I believe. And we can chase that up here to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which then tells us that these are 7, 9, and the other one, which is a 6. For what it is worth, we do know that there's a 6 in this column. Oh, this digit sees 1, 2, 4, 8, and 3, 3, and 6, so it is a naked yellow, Bear Cub points out. One of these two is a 1. Box 7 gets a 3 right here, exactly. PJ points out. That's beautiful. Yeah, this digit can't be a 6 anymore, Eden points out, because this corner marked 6, if this is a 6, will force the 6 into one of those two cells. That is very sweet. Very good observation. I guess that does put some pressure on what these digits can be, but maybe not enough. Okay, there's no 4 on here, so I guess I might as well write down that everything on this is from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's not a 6. These two aren't an 8. Actually, there just needs to be an 8 on this if there's no 4, right? So yeah, there is an 8 and it's here. So that gives me a 4 and an 8. We do indeed need a 6, so it's not there anymore. 8 isn't consecutive with 5. There's an 8 over here somewhere in one of those two cells. This is a 7, 9 pair, so that's a 6, which makes that a 6, which indeed makes this yellow. Means that this isn't a 6. Say 6 running across these cells. I don't know if I want to mark that yet, though. The 1 in this row... Oh, no, sorry, it could be there. Never mind. Oh, yeah, the 3s look up to place this 3. So this is not a 3. This is definitely a coloring puzzle in the loosest possible sense, but yes, I mean, it very well could have been a coloring puzzle at the beginning. Who knew? It seemed very likely. It just turned out I don't think that was what was intended, but we stuck with it because we don't give up. Where is 2 in this column is a good question. It goes there. I see Mekdi also asked that. Very nice. So this Renban always has a 6. Is Amir's point. Because either this is a 7 or it's a 5, but in the instances where it's a 5, this Renban doesn't have a 4. So this Renban just always has a 6, and that 6 can only go here. Very nice. Which doesn't quite place 6 down there, I suppose. 8 and this box goes here. Agree. So one of these two is an 8. 2 in this box is now placed there, making that a 1 and that a 2 and that a 1. I didn't claim it didn't have a 4. I claimed it had a 6. Because this was either a 7 or a 5, and in the instance where it was a 5, this digit had to be a 4. This is Amir's point. I was just relaying it, but yeah, that was what was going on. It wasn't. It was a more subtle point than that. The audio cut off. Only my stream does this to you. Oh, God. Tech is the worst. Let's see. 1 in box 3. Yes, 1 in box 3 is placed here. Does audio cut off for other people? I certainly end up with the, like, bouncing delays in all sorts of things. Three in box 3 also placed. Do I know that that's not a 3? One of these two is definitely a 7, so that isn't. I'm willing to do that. One of these two is a 7, I know, but that's not super useful. Yeah, the bouncing delays is a common thing, but I find that to be like a pretty universal YouTube issue with streaming, at least for me. Maybe it doesn't happen for you. I don't know exactly what the key is to improve it, but I have that when I watch streams too, on YouTube specifically. 2 in box 7 is exactly there. Agree. So 2 in this box is over here. Well, thank you, AFK. I appreciate the attention. What are these digits? 4, 5, 7, 9. Okay, it was being claimed that 3 here breaks because of row 3, column 8. Yeah, that does break in a weird pathological way. I see that breaks. 4 here always breaks, or sorry, also breaks. I don't disagree with that, but also it's a hideous look ahead, so I want to avoid it if I can avoid it. But I agree with your point, that it is true that doesn't work. Let's see. We've got one of these is a 5, and the other one is a 1, right? So that's not a 5 at the very least. And the 5 is down here. I have not used that logic before. That if this is a 3, that's a 4, it makes that an 8, it makes that a 7, and then it doesn't work. Placing the 6 was much less than that. Placing the 6 was just an observation about what was going on in this renbon. That's less this. Let's see. 4 in row 4 is certainly in one of these two cells. I never said the renbon couldn't have a 4. I said the renbon had to have a 6. I have not said the renbon can't have a 4. Let's see, row 3, column 9. Sees both 4s. I agree with that. Sees both 4s. This is a naked 579. Yeah, this is a naked 579, which does d5, 7, and 9ify this. It makes this only 3 or 8. So both of these gray. Yeah, so now... Yeah, now I think we probably have to use this argument that this isn't 3. It's a little bit cleaner, but it's still messy. Oh, that's a good way to put it. I like that argument better from Emma, which is that regardless of which digit this is always a 5. That's much prettier to me. If this is an 8, it of course makes this a 5, but if this is a 3, it also makes that a 5 because of the Renbon. So this is just always a 5. So we can at least do that. So these are 7, 8, or 3, 4. But as soon as that's a 5, that's a 4. Which now means that this is yellow. Means that this is a 4. This can't be a duplicate 5. And now this can't be a 3. Okay, we found a decent-ish way through that. For certain values of ish. Okay, that is yellow. These are both gray. These are a 7-9 pair, so I could color my 7 9s if I wanted to. I'm not sure if I want to yet, but I might. This is a 4. This column needs a 1. What are these two digits? These are a 1 and a 7 9. Let's see. This has not been the crispest puzzle logic-wise, I will say. This is a 5, 7, 9, so it's definitely yellow. Row 2 only has 1 digit left, is a good point, because we've got a 7, 9 pair over there. So that one's a 5. Makes that one a 1. Makes that a 5. I think the setter probably a little too much leaned into the aesthetic of the grid, and it caused them to accept things that they ought not have, for my taste at least. Which is an easy thing to do. Because you, of course, if you're looking at a grid like this, then you don't really want to have your Renbons not all look like this sort of general thing. But as a result, it meant the steps didn't really have that intentional feeling. Like, nothing sort of had that magical, like, oh, of course the setter intended me to do that sort of feeling. Of course, some people like to feel like they're getting away with something. Like, oh, the setter is fighting me every step of the way, and I have successfully won the battle. And for that, then something like this can work well for those sorts of people. Get a lot of 7 9s around here. That was supposed to be a 5. Let's see. If the Sven button would color for me, I would accept a Sven button, but sadly the Sven button won't color, so we're stuck doing it the old-fashioned way, where we've got a 5 and a 9 to put in, and that's the 9 and that's the 5. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, let's do this one next, although let's turn the dashed grid off. Dashed grid is such a funny feature because dashed grid is either completely mandatory or looks completely disgusting, and those are really the only things that exist for dashed grids. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits on a pink line are renbans. Digits on a red line are 10 lines. Okay, so column 1 here, by the way, this is by lithium ion, and it's called tenben. This is a 1 or a 9, but it can't be a 9, because if this were a 9, I would need to make this a single 10 sum, and that's not going to work. So this is a 1. And that makes this... what color is going to look the least hideous for me to mark my splits? That actually is the answer, weirdly enough. Have the dash grid on and then open a killer Sudoku. Oh yeah, I've done that before. I'm fortunate to have survived. Okay, there's definitely a 2, 3, 4 in these cells. Because if there's not, this line sums to too much. And that means this line has to split. Like that. Okay, okay, so there's only a maximum of 3, 6, 7, 8, 9s in these cells, because you can only put 1, 6, 7, 8, 9 per 10 sum. So there's at least a 6 on this. So that means the lowest it can get is 3. So that means 1 and 2 are split across these places. There's definitely a 5 on it, for sure, because you can't put 5 in any of these places. I agree with that as well. Oh, poor Zach. Zach missed the one dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you, poor Zach. Oops. And then I tried to destroy our router. Hopefully that didn't break the internet. I will accept full responsibility. Zach did not crash into it of his own volition. It was all my fault. Oh, yeah, we certainly know 9 doesn't go on this Renbon, because if 9 is on it, 5 isn't. So now 9 goes somewhere. It doesn't go here or here. So the 9 is crossways in one of these cells. And I can't put 8 on here either, because if I put 8 on here, then I would have ruled out 8, 7, 6, and that would certainly break one of these, because only one 10 sum is possible if you can't use 8, 7, or 6. Basically, there's a 6, 7, 8 in this domino, is what I'm claiming. Okay, so got the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 thing going on. So one of these two cells is a 1. So these cells aren't 1. There is a 1 in this box somewhere. It's in one of these two. Oh, people want me to do math in this box and say that these sum to 30, so these sum to 15. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. But if they're 7, 8, the world breaks, because now I have to put a 9 somewhere. So these are 6, 9 instead. which means that now we've got a 7 and 8 in here, but the 4 now can't go over here because it would go with a 6. So this is 4, 5. And I guess I also could have just said the 5 has to go over here, so it goes with the 4, whichever way you want. These are 2, 3, 7, 8. Okay, so this is a 2, 3, 7, 8 as well. Should probably write the actual 7. That does do interesting things to this Renbon a bit. Oh yeah, people would like to do mod 4 math in this box. So a 4-cell Renbon always sums to 2 mod 4. And so 2 mod 4 plus 20 is still 2 mod 4, whereas 45 is 1 mod 4. So that means this number is always 3 mod 4, so it's always 3 or 7 is what people want me to say. Which tells me that this isn't 3, 7, it's 2, 8. And that makes sense from everything going on over there. So now we get the 1 and the 9. Apparently that's not what people were thinking, but it got to the same place. So this is a known triple. Why would you not do mod 4 math when it's a 4-length Renbon? And you're arguing to just use math. 3, 6, 7. Go down here. So these are a 4, 5 pair. Which means these aren't 4, 5, which means these are 4, 5, because we need a 4 and a 5 on this thing. Yes, but you know very well how Zeta feels about doing 2 options. If you're going to do something by bifurcating, you might as well just not do puzzles. Let's see. Okay, so 4, 5, 3, 6, 7. Go in over here. This is also a 3, 7, actually, so this is a 6. That's very cute, actually. Let's see. Okay, so this is, by the way, worthwhile noting, a 10 line. And there are, let's see, this has become a 9. Let me do the 9 and the 6 over here. Sorry, 9 and 6. This is not a 9. Okay, so there's a 2, 8 here. These 3... in no universe do they sum to 10. So it must be, given that I can't use a 1 and a 2 and an 8 or a 9, this must break down like this. And so we now know that this is 1, 9, because there's a 2, 8 in the box. So this is a 2, 8. And the 8 better not go here, because if this is an 8, then I would need these to sum to 2, and I can't make that happen. So that's the 2, that's the 8. These now sum to 8 without being 2, 6. So these are 1, 7 or 3, 4. I don't know which one yet. Let's see. That's not a 2. That's not an 8. That's not an 8. That's not a 2. 3, 5. Sorry. 3 and 4 don't, in fact, add to 8, AFK points out. That is fair. Okay, so if this adds to 38, then that digit's a 7. If this adds to 28, then that digit's a 17. So probably this digit needs to be a 7. Which means that this is 3, 5, and also means that this needs to split 3 ways. Okay, so that's not a 3. It's not a 7 because of the 3, 5 pair there. Let's see. That's not a 1, 9, and that's not a 1, 9, so that's the 1, 9, which has the beautiful effect of splitting this line. Let's see, so we've got a 2, 8 and a 4, 6 in here somewhere. does tell me there's a 4 up here somewhere, just because of the 4s aligning down here, as well as a 6 for that matter. So a maximum of 1, 4, 6 is on this Renbon. That's very interesting. Tells me a lot about what the possibilities are for this Renbon. Oh yeah, we just know exactly what these are, chat points out. So these are 2, 8, and 4, 6. That one's not a 6, which means that these are a 3 and a 5. Oh, we don't know that about the 6. You're right. That was an incorrect deduction. This part was still right, though. That could still be a 6. Okay, and this cell can't be a 5 is the point, because if this were a 5, it would have to go with a 1, 4, and this cell would be broken. So that's the 3, and that's the 5. And so this is the 8 and the 2, and these are the 3, 7. These need to add to 7 as 1 and 6. So that's not a 6 either, which means that neither of these is 4. So these are the 4, 6. Okay, if there's not a 4, 6 on this, there's not a 5 either. So these are either 2, 3 or 7, 8. So that's a virtual 3, 7 pair. In fact, actually, these are either 1, 2, 3 or 7, 8, 9. So this is uniquely a 1, 9. I just don't know which one it is yet. These are also a 2, 8 pair. So one of these digits is a 1, 9, and the other is a 5. Yeah, this has been super cute. Okay, and now this line splits because there's a 1, a 2, and a 3 looking up at it, people point out, at those two cells. So this line is split. This line probably doesn't split, by the way. This one also probably doesn't split. Oh, that 5 actually sorts out the 3 and the 5 even, has been called. So that's not a 3. Aha, the 5 is up here in this box now because of that 5 and 5 not going here. And therefore, there's a 1 on here because you can't make this work without that. Oh, right. This line can't split either now that we've got this 1 up here. Good point. So there's a 1 in here. So one of these is 1, 9, and it's there. So one of these is 9. Okay, so this is not 1, 4, 5 either. And it's not 1, 1, 8. So there's only sort of 2 options, I think, which is that this is 1, 2, 7, and 1, 3, 6, I believe are the 2 options. There's a 7 in these cells, I note, just by Sudoku. So there's a 7 in these cells. Oh, none of these are 3, 7 either, actually. So the 7 is up here. Yeah, so that's very cute. That's a beautiful setting. Neither of these are 3, 7. The 7 is looking up here, so none of these are 7. So these are, in fact, a 5, 7 pair. So there's no 2, 7 over here. This is just 1, 3, 6. Oh, we know this, too. We know the 5 and the 7. So that's a 4 and a 5. So there's a 2, 8 or a 4, 6 in here. Oh, there's no 2, 8 in there either. So the 2 and the 8 go up here because this 2, 8 also looks up at this. And so one of these is 4, 6, and we know the order-ish. Like that, which makes these a 2 and 8 and the other thing, and a 3. Which makes these a 7 and a 4. Yeah. Acceptable. Okay, so this is either 4, 5 exactly, or it's from 7, 8, 9. And guess which one it isn't. It's not 4, 5 because that cell is 4, 5. This is beautiful setting, by the way. That was meant to be an 8. But yeah, this interacting with that is just chef's kiss. Very nice. That's exactly what I like to see. This one's not a 3. The 8 does look down. My only complaint is that this red is slightly too dark, and it makes it hard for me to see anything on the lines. Okay, so that's 2, and that's 8. Okay, so this is 1 or 9. Yeah, we already knew that. Okay, so what about this? Do we know anything about this? Oh, we know that, I'm being told. So now this is 7, 8, 9. Very nice. Is there 1, 5? There's no 9 over here of any flavor. The 9 in this box is vertical over here. The 7 in this box is here. I realize that was a very convoluted way to say that there's a 7, 8 pair looking at this cell, but what can you do? Sometimes you see it the convoluted way. So we get all of that. One of these is a 2. Sure is. The other is a 9. Okay, there we go. 2, 9. So these aren't 2, so those aren't 8. So the 8 in this row is placed. So that gives me the 4 and the 7. So the 4 isn't down here, so the 6 isn't up here. Gives me a 2, 4. By the way, that 1, 5 looks over it here. That was probably the simpler available deduction than any of the assorted things that we did. Oh, and actually that gave me a 1 up here. So it gives me a 6 and a 3 up there. It gives me a 5 and a 1, 4 and a 6, 5 and a 4. Okay, these digits are something and something. 4 and 9. So these are the other ones, 2 and 5. Good. These digits are probably worth knowing. 2, 4, 8, and 9, huh? Oh, this is a 4, 9 pair. This is a 4, 9 pair. So there's a 4 or a 9 on this Renbon, but not both, which is, I guess, exactly the point that we have over here. If there's a 9, of course, then it's 9, 8, 7, 6. Seems possible. Otherwise, these are a 2, 4, in which case then that's a 3. Oh yeah, we can note that the 4 in this column is actually all over here. So the 4 in row 1 is over here, but the 4 in column 7 is up here, and so they have to go in the cross. I actually think that's much prettier than the X-Wing version, but it works either way. So now 2 is not going with an 8 or a 9, so these are an 8, 9 pair. Hey, Liel Cheer. So that's a 2. These are a 6 and a 7, which gives me the 1, 9 over here, and the 6, 4 over here, and the 4 and the 9 over here. This number is a 1 or a 9 by the column, but it's a 1 by the row. Yes, I definitely appreciate the typing something in a concise way definitely gets me to process it easier, because I usually look over and see like a few random words. Call that the T-wing. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite deductions that often shows up in puzzles. Ooh, I'm glad you enjoyed the detour puzzle. I enjoyed setting it, and I was quite happy with how it came out. I wasn't sure how it was going to come out as I was setting it, but then afterwards, I was quite happy with it. Let's see. This is 2 or a 5. These are 2, 5, and the other one? 3? 2, 3, 5. Okay. Oh, and this apparently has made this a 6 and an 8, and a 4 and a 2. Okay, that seems to unravel this. This was a lovely puzzle, by the way. This is gorgeous. A+ puzzle. Great job to Lithium Ion. Okay, let me stretch my legs for just a moment, and I'll be back with another puzzle in just a moment. So see everyone after I pick out something nice. All right, welcome back. Someone recently, I think it was Skojo, did a setting prompt to get people to set puzzles that combined arrows and double arrows, which of course makes sense because double arrows are a generalization of arrows. And so we have a bunch of these in the bucket, and I'm not going to do them all in one stream. But we'll start with this one, where we've got our arrow, double arrow piece here. And so there's a lot of 6, 7, 8, 9s going on, but I actually think it makes more sense to start with the fact that yellow plus green is pink. And yellow is at least 21. Green is at least 3. So yellow and pink, so pink is at least 24. These two are a maximum of 17. So that means that this is at least 7. Did I do all of this to get that this was at least 7 instead of at least 6? I think I did. However, this is a maximum of 9, so therefore these need to come out to be a minimum of something. 24 minus 9 is 15. So I did all of that, and it gives me absolutely no flex on these. Good to know. At least 15, the exact same thing I would have gotten if I'd done this box myself. But I probably can ask, like, what's the maximum that these can sum to is 27. It's maybe interesting. Maybe not. These certainly need to be at most equal to 6. These are certainly from 6, 7, 8, 9, just because they're from longer arrows. These are certainly from 6, 7, 8, 9, just because these digits sum to at least 15. Yeah, okay, so yeah. How many 1, 2, 3s do I need in these cells is the question. And the answer is 3. You need 3 cells or 3 1, 2, 3s in there. Because if I don't put 3 1, 2, 3s in here, then the minimum sum would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and that is 18. However, 2 of the 1, 2, 3s along this diagonal live here. So these both need to be 1, 2, 3, and one of these is 1, 2, 3, which means that this can't be 6, which is just another fancy proof of that. It also means that these are all not 1, 2, 3s, at least. Oh yeah, the Garian's asking me to contemplate what the largest digit you can put in any of these cells is. And the answer is that the largest digit that you can put in any of these cells is in fact a 7. So I can't do 8 or 9 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 is 17 and you can't get any larger. Oh, sorry, no, this one could be 8. That one could be 8. Except it can't actually be 8 for reasons that are slightly complicated. So we have to ask about what is the world where this is an 8. And the world where this is an 8 is the world where both of these are 9. And the problem with that world is that in that world, there's no 9 in this box anywhere anymore. Because you're definitely not putting a 9 on here. So if you're not following exactly what's happening here, the point is that the sum of two cells, if they see each other, is a maximum of 17. But if they don't see each other, the sum of them is a maximum of 18, which would normally allow you to put an 8 on here, but you can't because of the Sudoku implications of putting 9s here. Okay, so that makes that a little bit messy, but the reason why Garian is interested in this is because it now means that we actually have the rare sighting of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 septuple appearing on this diagonal. And therefore, the remaining 2 cells need to be 8 or 9. Which are distinct 8 9s that appear on this diagonal. Yeah, AFK sees another sort of weird look ahead about why neither of these can be 6. Actually, no, I'm not 100% sure that I believe it. I think I'd have to look even aheader than I am willing to look at the moment. Let's see. Oh yeah, it does break immediately. Sorry, yeah, it does break much faster. Sorry, in my head somehow I got confused about this cell. Yeah, so the problem is if one of these is a 6, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and therefore that's a 6. But that's an 8, and 6 and 8 do not go together like that on an arrow. So yeah, I do agree neither of these is 6. I think that's very reasonable. I convinced myself somehow when I looked at it, I saw it and I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then I somehow convinced myself I had to do more Sudoku after that. Okay, so either that cell is a 7 or one of these cells is a 7, which means... Oh, interesting. If this is a 7... it creates very weird stuff going on. If this is a 7, then these are an 8, 9 pair, of course. This one never sums to 17, but it can have a 7 and sum to 18. Why can't I put a 7 here and make it 1, 2, 3, 5, and make it sum to 18? Oh, because it still can't sum to 18, right? Okay, yes. So it's actually, it makes the earlier deduction better to me now that it's important that this can't be 18, not just for purposes of this not being able to be 8, but actually for purposes of this not being able to be 7. Because we argued this can't be double 9 to allow this to be an 8, but it just can't be double 9, period, because if this is double 9, we've put a 9 on here and that breaks. But also now this can't sum to 17 either, because this would be an 8-9 pair looking at that. So that actually knocks 7 off of this. So that actually that works out nicely. So one of these two is a 7. And as well, one of these two is a 7. So that actually gives us sort of a weird bent X, or sorry, is this a mutant X-wing or a mutilated X-wing or something? It gives us some sort of X-wing on 7s. Oh yeah, it's worth pointing out. Yeah, there's a bunch of things going on at once now. There's definitely a 1, 2, and a 3 in here as soon as this can't be 18. So this is not a 1, 2, 3, and so both of these are. But the point I wanted to make actually was that the 7 on this diagonal now lives over here. And so that means that these now are 8 and 9, and these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 is what I want. That was what I was trying to do, but then we ended up in different places in our world. So these are now either 7, 9 or 7, 8. Is 7, 8 still possible? That's true. These are a 5, 6 pair. Oh, and now we've got a 5, 6 pair on the diagonal as well, because none of these are this. So these are a 5, 6 pair. These are from 7, 8, 9. So that actually gives us 7, 8, 9 triples in these rows and columns. Oh yeah, I can actually take out the 5, 6. Yeah, I saw the 5, 6 pair in the box, but then I didn't actually do it correctly. This being a 5 or a 6 means that one of these is a 1, which means that none of these are 1s, which means that one of these is a 1. Yeah, David pointing out it's probably worthwhile to fill in that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. As I suppose it's worth pointing out are these. And these aren't 1 for what it's worth. So that's 5 digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. And in this column, we sort of know where roughly they all are. Yeah, this digit goes here in column 1. I suppose I can get rid of all of this coloring now. I was so excited that that was definitely the break-in, and it turned out to be almost completely useless. So let's just make those two digits green. So then this digit's definitely green. And now I'll make this digit yellow so that that digit's definitely yellow. And now let's make this digit pink for whatever it's worth. Yeah, there's a yellow over here by row 1. I agree. This is certainly yellow or green. So neither of these is 7, because we know one of them is 7. Yeah, this is a quad of 6, 7, 8, 9. We can certainly fill in that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, not 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you'd like. Oh, yeah, one of these two is 6 now, because neither of those was 6. So one of these two is 6, which makes that a 5. And this is 6. That'll give us a 5 dance. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Woo. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Wah. Ba-doop, ba-doop. Wee. Ba-doop, 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 wah. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Makes that a 6, makes that a 5, makes the sum here 16. So these are 7, 9, which makes that an 8. These aren't 8, so that makes these an 8, 9 pair. So these are a 6, 8 pair. That has become a 9. In fact, all of these have ceased to be 6. These are also from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you can't put a 6 on an arrow that sums to 6 or 8. These are 1, 2, has been pointed out, because 5 and 1 and 2 are what add to 8. That knocks 2 out of these cells, which makes these a 1, 2, which means that's not a 2 either. Let's see. These aren't 1, 2 either. So where are the 1 and 2 on this diagonal? Oh, sorry, no, one of these is a 1, 2, and it's the one that goes with the 8. Okay, so one of these is a 1, 2, which means the arrow, in fact, it's not a 1, 2, it's a 1. Sorry, it's a 2, right? Both of these arrows have 1s. So the 1 on this diagonal is just placed here. I was about to argue that in a silly way, but we'll just argue it the more straightforward way. But now one of these two is a 2, which means that the arrow, that box goes with an 8 that's a 1, 3, 4. So in fact, neither of these have 5s on them, is what we get. So that actually buys us 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruples in the columns. So these numbers are all 5, 7, 8, 9s. It's not a 9. That one's not a 9. Both have 3s is a different way to put it. Yeah, both have 3s. So these numbers aren't 3s, which means that one of these two is a 3. Oh, yeah, this isn't a 6 because there's a 6, 8 pair on the column. Or, sorry, on the diagonal. Okay, we've got this 8, 9 running across there. Oh, yes, there's a 1, 2 pair in the row, so this isn't a 2. Oh, so therefore that's a 2, which resolves everything. So that's an 8 and a 6. That's a 3. 8. These are 1, 3, 4. That's not a 3. That is a 7, 7, 9, 9, 7. 9. So there we go. So we've got a 2, 3, 3. None of these are 7. None of these are 9. So 1 and a 2 over down here, but I don't quite know what to do with that yet. One of these is definitely a 2 by the 1, 3, 4 in the row, so this one's not a 2, which makes these a 1, 4 pair, which makes these a 2, 3 pair, which makes that a 3, makes these a 1, 4 pair. So that's not a 3. This isn't a 1-2 because there's a 1-2 pair in the box, which makes these an 8-9, points out Garion, that we can write in. These aren't 5 because there's a 5-8-9 in the box. These aren't 4 because there's a 4-5 pair in the column. Oh, that 1-4 looks down at this cell, so that's a 2 and that's a 1, points out Laura. Agree. What is this triple? Not 1 or 4. So so these are actually all right-ins. So that actually makes those right-ins. Makes those right-ins. Makes these a 3 and a 4. Playmaker was a tester for this one. Let's write in all of that and look to see what things I missed. How about that one? I should probably write in that one too. So these two sum to a maximum of 10, which means that this one's never an 8. Also, none of these are 1 or 2. Okay, so this one's at least a 6. These are a maximum of 10, so this one's a 3. Which gives me 4 and 3 over there. Gives me a 4 there. 3, 9 over there. 3 and 8 is too big. So this is a 6, which makes this a 5. Makes that a 1, and I broke it. What did I do? Huh. Hey, Jadair, how are you doing? I saw you posted puzzles again. That's very exciting. I know it's been a bit. Yeah, I definitely broke it somehow. I removed the wrong digit from row 8, column 6. Definitely can't be 6. All looks reasonable, but now that is a nothing. It could be 7. Why did I ever take out 7? Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, I took out 7 somehow. For no particularly good reason. Okay, let's go back and hopefully that didn't work. I don't know why I took out the 7. It wasn't a conscious decision. This can't be an 8, though, so that's going to be a 3. So that's going to be a 4. So let's see. So the minimum sum now is 9. So this has certainly got to be at least a 5 or a 6. That is a 1 and a 6 and a 4 and a 1 and a 4, 2, 3. 8 is still too large. I said 8 is too large and then removed 7. That sounds like me. 8 is still too large, though. So this just is a 7, which makes that a 6. Oops. Makes that a 5, 2, 1. 2. Let's see. These aren't 7. Oops. I meant to just do that, is what I was trying to do. 4, 3. In fact, actually, let's let Sven finish it. Okay, Sven does not quite finish the puzzle. What does Sven not know that I'm supposed to know? That there's an 8-9 pair there. How about that? Then Sven can finish it. Okay. I'm still heartbroken that this wasn't the break-in. It looked so natural for that to be the break-in. I feel like you could probably rearrange the geometry here to make it work. Yeah, I guess Sudoku X is not usually my favorite because it constrains the solve path so much. Like, Sudoku X is oddly close to Anti-Knight in terms of the amount of horrendous that it is for the setter to deal with because there's so many weird deductions. That said, this was a really neat puzzle in terms of feeling like so many of the deductions were intentional. And even the one I sort of complained about at first actually turned out to really be part of something bigger, which made it sort of feel really nice with these can't be double 9, but they can't be 8, 9 either. All of that sort of folded together in a really nice way. So yeah, really nicely done there to oddly even. No surprise, I've consistently been a big fan of oddly evens puzzles. Let's see. Let me go hunt another puzzle down. Let's see. Well, I guess I said I wouldn't do a ton of these in a row, but I'll do one more in a row. How about one more? Let's do a Sudoku Renbon black dot, or not Renbon black dot. What am I saying? Double arrow arrow. Okay, so these are a 6, 7, 8, 9 right away because of the these things over here. Let's see. So, oh, new link. Let's see. Can I do new link? I bet I can. Yeah, these both have to sum to 15 is the point, because the point is to look at this like this. So yellow sums to at least 15, and pink sums to at least 15 because of the corresponding boxes. However, the sum of yellow and pink is at most 30, and therefore it is 30, and therefore these are genuinely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in both sides. This was, Jay Dyer pointed this out. I did not see this right away. I feel like I used this step in a puzzle at some point, but I definitely didn't see it here. So this actually is one that sums to more than 15. For what it is worth. So this digit is actually a 6, beautifully, which is going to unravel a whole lot of things, because this digit is at least 6 by the box, but at most 6 by the fact that it's on a 3-cell arrow. Beautiful. All right, let us go do the dance. Boop boop ba-doop. Whoop 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 whoop. Boop boop ba-doop. Whoop 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 whoop. Boop boop ba-doop boop boop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that makes that a 9, makes that a 6, makes these a 7, 8. It's possible I should color. I don't know yet exactly how we're going to color this, but I'm going to just color this. I suspect I might want to merge the colorings of these, but I don't know yet. These are a 1, 2, and they're certainly blue. Which certainly makes these neither 1 nor 2. These are certainly also all blue, because these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which actually in this row, if I do just make these also yellow, it has the benefit of making these all yellow, which makes life easier. These are from 7, 8, 9. These are certainly all blue by virtue of the fact that the box has all the yellows in it already. This is a 3, 4, 5 for sure. These are also 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is a 1, 2, 3 because it's a 6 arrow. Let's see. Oh, box 8 and box 2 are entirely yellow for the rest of them. Very good point. And in fact, that digit's a 6 while we're at it. This is a 7, 8. These are 7, 8, 9. Yes, yes, yes. David is pointing out we could have made this a length 5 double arrow where we merged these two together, which is all I really thought about when I named these double arrows, is that if you just connected these two, it would just be clear that this needed to be a 6, 7, 8, or 9. Because of the fact that it would be a sum of 5 things. So by the same logic, this is a 7, 8, or 9. Agree. Okay, so this is at least a 4. Do I care that this digit is at least a 4? Not really. This is at least a 1, therefore this number is at least a 0. It doesn't sound super useful to me. Let's see. Even with 9 and 8, it's worth noting I still can't put 8 or 9 in any of these cells. So there's still sort of an 8, 9 floating around here, which looks like it might be tempting me to do a geometry thing with like these assorted T's. I'm not quite sure yet. Oh, there's a really good spot from Jay Dyer. These two cells need to go in row 1. And they can't both go over here because then the sum won't be big enough. So therefore, one of them has to go here, and so therefore this digit's a 3. Lets me corner mark a 3 here, corner mark a 3 here, remove a 3 here, remove a 3 there and there, corner mark a 3 here, remove some 3s here. That is a really good spot. Okay, so these are a 1, 2, and a digit that's much larger than that. 5, 7, 8. That's not what I meant, and you know it. I mean, this arrow probably is a 7, so there's unlikely to be any 3s on it at all. But who knows? Amazing, though. Amazing. Okay. Count 1s in boxes 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, we do know there's a 1 here. There's a 1 here. And therefore those 1s align, so there's not a 1 there, but this arrow definitely needs a 1, so that's a 1. And there's definitely a 2 along this arrow as well, because otherwise it would sum to 10. Which then has the advantage of making this a 2. Which then means there's definitely a 1 over there. Okay, now let's do 2s. There's definitely a 2 here as well, and I broke the puzzle. Oh, there's not definitely a 2 here as well, right? There can't be a 2 here, sorry. There there now can't be a 2 here because there's a 2 here and there's a 2 in here. And so now there's a 3 over here, which now means this is the 8 arrow. Because it has a 1 on it by Sudoku? So now there's no 2 on here, so that's the 8 and that's the 7. I don't think I cheated, did I? That's not an 8 anymore. It's possible I cheated. I don't think so. Definitely means no 5 as well. Okay, and now this can't sum to 9 because then it would need an 8, and that would break that cell. And I can't have an 8 there because then it would sum to 9 and it would break that cell. And so, in fact, this has just been forced into being 178 with a 9. Okay, so now, so now this isn't 8, but that still doesn't help me. Excellent. Okay, but that now is an 8, and that's a 9. This is now 2, 3, 4. In order to make the world happy, which means that all of these are yellow. These are 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not an 8. Oh, the 8 arrow I knew was 1, 3, 4, and I just never actually updated that. I agree with that. The 7 arrow is probably a 1, 2, 4 arrow. I'm also going to go with that. So this is going to be a 4 by virtue of being the sort of commonality between those, which is going to make that a 5. Oh yeah, none of these are 4 anymore. Are we traumatizing AFK by making them look at this grid? This number is also at least... Oh, this number is also yellow. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So this sums to a minimum of 12, which means assuredly I need this to be yellow. But actually, I think I can do even better than that. This actually sums to a minimum of 13. So the only way this actually works is 4 and 9. With a 6 and a 7. So no 9 over there. No 6 or 9 there. No 6 there. 4, that's a 3. These 3s that align put 3 in one of these 2 cells, but not that one because of the 1, 3 pair. So we've actually got a 3 over here. Which is pretty satisfying. There is a 5 in one of these cells, so these aren't 5. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4. It still doesn't quite tell me what's going on with the 5. Oh yeah, this isn't 7 because this is a 1, 7 over there. I'm told there's at least 2 different reasons, and now I'm tempted to find the other one. Oh, because there's a 7, 8 pair in the row would be the other one. Okay, so there's 2 different proofs that this digit's definitely not a 7. Column 1 would like a 1 and a 2, J. Dyer points out, and they can't both go on this arrow, so one of them goes there. And so there's a 1, 2 on this arrow that needs to go with a 5, 6, or 7. Seems not to go with a 7 for reasons. Such as that 7. Neither of those 2 cells is a 7 for what it's worth. These are known, actually. I might as well write them in. By which, I mean, I might as well have my friend Mark write them in. Those are a 4, 5. Which seems to make this digit also yellow. It's the other 7, 8. Didn't you know? Means one of these 2 is a 6. This is a 5, actually, if you look at the column. Which makes all of these yellow. These are 6, 8, 9. It's not 8, and that one's not 8, so that one is. We've finally placed the 8 in this box. I really regretted putting these 8, 9 corner marks in this box, I have to say, because I have been removing them, and it feels like I've removed them 8 million times. Okay, so this is an 8, and that's a 9. Makes that a 6 and a 9. A 7 and an 8. A 7 and an 8. Okay, so this is a 1, 2, 5, 6 kind of deal. So that makes this digit always a 5 or a 6. And it seems not to be a 6 because of the box. So it seems to be a 5. So these are a 2, 6, and that's a 1. This digit is a 7. I tried to make it yellow. Why is the cell refusing to yellow itself? I blew myself for you, Michael, or something. Okay, so one of these is an 8, and it's the one that's not in a column with an 8 already. So that's blue, and it's a 2 or a 5, but it's not a 5, so it's a 2. 3, 4, 2, 5. Uh-oh, I broke it. What did I do? I swear one of them is an 8. Oh, they're both high. I see. They're both high. There we go. But that one is an 8, and that one's a 6. I can't count yellows in this row, is the problem. Okay, so that's yellow, that's blue, that's yellow. That's a 6, that's blue. Okay, the 1's looking across now, so that's not a 1. That's not a 1. I need a 9 in this box. It's not there. So that's blue. This is a secret 5. The worst kind of 5. One of those is a 4. These are all blue because of the row. This puzzle has been an absolute delight, by the way, I have to say. No offense to the oddly even puzzle, which was good, but this I feel like nails why I called them double arrows in the first place, and the solve path has just been buttery smooth the whole time. That's not a 2 for lots of reasons. Oh, these are both just blue because I've got the 6 over on this arrow. In fact, these are just a 3, 4, 5. And that one is a 5. Still one of those is a 9, but no one on Earth knows which one. The box 6 line doesn't have a 7 on it, and it sums to 17. So it has a 6 on it, says J. Dyer. And the 6 isn't in either of these two cells, so this is a 6. But therefore, these are both blue. And that's blue. And therefore, that's a 6, and that's blue. And now this is a 4-digit sum to 11, so it doesn't have a 4 in it. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, so these are a 1, 5. And that is a 4. Okay, so that is a 2, 3, 1, 4. That is a 5. I still don't know which of these is a 9. So we better ask Mark. Mark has learned the secret of which of these things are 9s. And also that one is also yellow, and that this one isn't. Mark has taught us many things. Lovely, lovely puzzle. Just absolutely loved that one there. And we've probably got time for another puzzle as long as it is quick. let's see. What other quick puzzles do we have? That was super clean. That was the cleanest of clean. Okay, let's do this Arrow Killer by Not Very Neat. I've not heard of Not Very Neat before, but I like the screen name, and I like that I can immediately make these blue. And make them 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are either 1, 2, 3, 4, or sorry, either 1, 2, 4, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 6. They definitely contain a 1 and a 2. Likewise, these definitely contain a 1 and a 2. The lowest digit you can get in a 28 cage is a 4. It would seem. So we might as well write in that these are from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one at least isn't a 9. And in fact, actually, there's always an 8 and a 9 in this box. So this is never an 8 or a 9. So this actually can't even be a 7. Same is true over down here. This can't be as large as 7. So it's not a 7, 8, or 9. So these are at least 5. And they can only be 5, 6, or 7. Which means that these are always 1, 2, 3s. Over here. Let's see, a 20 cage, I guess, can have almost anything at once in it in the entire world. These two 5, 6, 7s are different. One of them is going to get yellow, and one of them is going to get pink. Because if they were the same, they wouldn't be able to go in box 1. Which is very cute. So we're not keeping the color scheme currently. We're agreeing that yellows are 1, 2, 3s. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4s. It's possible that I should make yellows, or sorry, blues. Blues are 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do words, I swear. I'm trying to wonder if I want to, like, try and minimize these sorts of things. Let's see. Can these be 3, 4, adding to 7? It would certainly make this a 3, 4 if that were true. I'm not sure. In fact, actually, all the 1, 2, 3s are out here in this box. Oh, I see, I see. This cage only either has a 4 and a 7, or neither a 4 nor a 7. And so the key point here is that this being 4 breaks, because if this is a 4, this isn't a 7, but also if this is a 4, it is a 7. At least as far as these being 3s go. Sorry, I didn't say that correctly. But what I really meant to say is if this is a 3, then that's a 4 and that's a 7, except the 7's in here. And 5 and 6 go together in the same way, so these also aren't 6, points out Todd, for exactly the same reason. Wait, sorry, no, that's not true, sorry. 5, these just can't be 5, 6. So 1, 5, 6 doesn't work. But 1, 4, 5 would be okay. Can I do some similar geometry thing with the 1, 2? I don't think so, right? Why aren't they the same? If they're the same, they go there. Oh, Lord, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Yeah, they're not the same, because they'll both go in box 5 in different spots, right? So these 1, 2s whether they be the same or different, we won't talk about that for this particular moment in time, but they definitely go in the 12 cage. If they are the same, then they go in the 12 cage there and there because of the 10 cage, which does not work. So they are in fact different. Therefore, this is not a 1 or a 2. And I think I'm only going to... I think I might try flashing these in different colors. We'll make a light blue and a dark blue 1, 2. Yeah, and regardless, this 1, 2 always goes here because of that. That's a very nice way to look at it. And this 1, 2 goes in one of those, so it goes there. So these, in fact, are a 1, 2 pair, and we know the coloring and how it goes. Sweet. Yeah, the 1, 2 certainly never goes in the 20 cage. That's very nice. Wow, that's gorgeous. That's really nice. Yeah, the 20 cage, the smallest digit they can go in it is 3, so this is a dark blue. And I bet that's going to make this 289, but let's wait and see. So this is now dark blue for the 12 cage. So those aren't 1, 2. So that's not 1, 2. So now these are 1, 2, which gives me a light blue, dark blue over here. So now that's a light blue, because of the need for a second light blue in here. Or sorry, the need for a first light blue in here. I didn't do that part right. Let's try again. Okay, and so now light blue is in the 19 cage. So now the light blue is 289. It's like, as soon as I saw someone pointed out the 20 cage, it's like, okay, of course there's going to be a light blue in here. Okay, and therefore light blue is 2. And we can bring out Zach for the 2 dance. Boop boop ba doop. Dooka dooka dooka. Ba doop ba doop. Dooka dooka dooka. Ba doop boo doop ba doop boo doop boo doop boo boo doop boo. Waha! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So all the dark blues are 1s. Bam. This isn't a 2, so it's a big number. I do agree that none of these cells can be 4, and none of these cells... Well, sorry. That one can't even be 3 or 4. Let's do that one more easily. This is a 5 or a 6, so this is a 3 or a 4. These can't be 4. But these also can't be 4 because one of these is a 3 or a 4. I didn't do that correctly. That was supposed to be a 3 or a 4. Okay, so now these are a minimum of 2, 3. So this is at least a 5. Okay. There is a 2 over here. This is also at least 5. And we know one of these 2 is pink. I don't know why I didn't mark this before. One of these 2 is pink, and one of these 2 is yellow. This certainly isn't 5 anymore. That's very good. Because 5 plus... or 5 would require this to be something that it can't be. And this can't be 6 anymore for similar silly reasons. What did I actually do? I said this can't be 5, and I, for some reason, deleted 4 from this cell. I agree. This can't be 6 anymore because of the whole 6, 5, 1 having the problem that 5 and 6 go together here. So this is 5 or 7, which means that this isn't 5 also. So both arrows have 2 options. Oh, yeah, and this can't be 6 anymore for very similar reasons. Oh, yeah, you only get 1, 4, 5 in a 28 cage. And you only get one, actually, you only really get one, oh no, sorry, I certainly know that none of the rest of these are 4, is what I actually know, right? Because if one of these are 4, that would be 6, that doesn't work. But these could be 5 with this being 6. None of these are 6, actually, is what I know, because it would make that 4. Uh-oh. AFK says I screwed it up. Oh, I can also remove the 4s. Oh, I added them instead of removing them. Sounds like me. 8 and 9 in row 3 are restricted. Ah, yeah, the 8 and 9 are down here. That can't be an 8 or a 9, actually, because it would make that a 1. So, yes, good spotting for from Jay Dyer, who I know has been patiently waiting on that as I got distracted with other things. So now there is... This digit's now a maximum of 7. And this digit's at least a 3. So that's a 3, 4, 5. And therefore, this digit is a maximum of 4. So we can write a 2, 3, 4 in there. Oh, yeah, the other 8, 9 in this column now is pushed exactly here, because it can't go there. I agree with Egbert. So that... Oh, no, sorry, I was going to look across this, but that's not quite right. Okay, so if this is a 5, 2, 3, I can't put both 2 and 3 in this box. I agree with that. So this is never a 5. And this can't be a 5 for similar reasons. This is the one that AFK was actually looking at. I just looked at a different 5 arrow. If this is a 5, it would have to be 2, 3, and now this doesn't work. So this is a 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 would be 2, 4. That also doesn't work. This is, again, at least a 5. Oh, yeah, 2 in box 6 is a great point. I'm certainly not putting that in the 20 cage, so the 2 in the box has actually gotten bullied entirely up to here, which then bullies it onto this arrow over here. In fact, it actually just even places it even better. So that means that this digit is a 5, 6, or 7. Very nice. Oh, row 7 has a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. So it does. So this cell just is the 2. This cell is just not... Oh, sorry, this is just an 8 or a 9. That is not a 2 anymore. Oh, so now this just is 3, 4, 7. It's the only option. Okay, we know now that one of these cells is 7. Because there's either a 6 or a 7 in this cage. And if there's a 6 in the cage, this arrow is 7. That's an incredibly weird deduction to phrase, but there's a 7 looking across here. So there's a 7 looking across here is the point. Okay, so where's 3 in this box? 3 in this box is here. So where's 4 in this box? 4 in this box is in the cage. So now this is a 4, 7, 8, 9. This is certainly now just a 4, which makes that a 5. 3 and 4. Which has now made this a 3, 6. Which means one of these is a 5. One of these is a 6. In fact, actually, I almost know what these are, right? In fact, that one just is a 6. And that one is a 2, if I actually look at it. This number's at least 2. It can't be 3 or 4. Then it could maybe be 5 or 6. Oh, but that 3, 4 pair certainly looks at that cell, which makes that a 5. Which makes that a 2, which makes that a 7. Very nice, very nice. Very nice setting in this puzzle, by the way. Okay, so this is either 4, 9 or 5, 8. It's not 5, 8, so it's 4, 9. So that's the 9 over there. Which makes that the 8 and that the 9 over there. So this either goes 7, 1, or these are a 3, 5. I don't think I know which one. This is the other 3, 4. I'm willing to say that. Okay, so this could be 3, 5 in any order. Sorry, it can be 3, 5 in exactly this order. Something went wrong in box 6. Oh, something did go wrong in box 6. Box 6 already has a 4, so I should have done that instead, and then I should have asked myself what digit was left. It is the 6. The 6 is responsible. There is a 4 and a 5, and a 9 and a 4. A 6 and an 8, and a 5 and a 7. It's an 8, 9 pair, which makes that a 6. Okay, you get a pink. You get a yellow. You get a yellow. You get a pink. You get a pink. Everybody gets a pink. Okay, what is left in this box is probably worth writing down. Apparently that cell is uniquely a 3. These are a 1, 4 pair, apparently. What about this box? 3, 7, 9, huh? Those are a 7, 9, though, so that one's the 3. So the 9 up here is in one of these two cells. Okay, so this isn't 3, 5 anymore. It's now 1, 7. And we know the order of the 1 and the 7. Okay, I think we've got all the 2s in the grid now. Oh no, we don't have all the 2s in the grid. This is a 2. There we go. Now we've got all the 2s in the grid. What about 1s? We don't quite have all the 1s in the grid. This one doesn't even have a color yet. Shameful. That one also gets a color, so this one also gets a color. Oh, box 3's 2 has not been skied yet. There's a 1 up here, exactly. That's all the 1s and 2s. It's pretty good. What about these cells? I know these aren't 9s because of the 9s looking up. So those are 7, 8. So these... Oh, yeah, where does 6 go in row 1 is the way to ask it. 6 in row 1 goes here. Oh, yeah, where does the yellow go in row 6 is a great way to ask it as well. So this is a 5, which is true pink. And this is not a color, it's just a 9. Let's see, this is a 6, making this a 3 and a 6. Let's see, that's 7, 9 looked across, making these a 4, 8. Let's see, that's a 5 and a 6. This is now a naked 4 and a 3. Apparently that whole box was done. 8, this is now a yellow. Makes that a yellow. Makes that an 8. 4, 8. 9, 8. 9, 8. That's a yellow. That's a yellow. That's nothing. I'm sorry to the 8s for calling them nothing. This is pink. That's pink. So that's pink. Do I have 4 colors in every box is always the good thing to ask myself that I can scan for. I am missing 1 pink over here, I believe. I think I now have 4 colors in every box. 5, 4, 9. Very lovely puzzle there. Quite some neat geometry there. I liked the I liked the back and forth between the cages and the arrows at the beginning, especially. The only deduction I'm not the biggest fan of is I'm not the biggest fan of the 28K uses either both 5 and 6 or both 4 and 7. That's a little it's a little untoward for my taste, but all the rest of it well earned the heart. And I don't think that's that bad, especially when you have access to a killer calculator. I just generally try to avoid the killer calculator bashy deductions. So that touches a little close to that. But anyway, thank you for hanging out today. Hopefully you enjoyed the intro to the new Sudokuvania 2 series. That will continue on Monday, and if you missed it, you can, of course, go back and watch it. We'll be continuing with that, continuing with Artisans of Glimeth, to give you a highlight into some of the other things we have for the next YouTube exclusive series, or not YouTube exclusive, the supporter exclusive series. We have Can of Wormholes. So if you want to see me be very bad at guiding a little worm around a maze, I can encourage you to watch that. There's some really cool stuff over there. And also coming up soon, we have, I've been recording Seance at Blake Manor. So if you like the plot lore heavy sorts of puzzle games, that one definitely excels in that particular genre. And you can look forward to that coming as well soon. Thank you everyone for watching. And last but not least, thank you to the Turbines who are Daniel, David, Franco, Nell, Nordy, Plonktime, and ELSF. Thank you so much. We'll see you all next time. Bye for now.